والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, He states, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that there must always remain a group of people within the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that are constantly calling to good. They are a force of good within the community, who are always working, striving, struggling to make good things happen. And this is an idea I want us to particularly focus on here today. And I want to talk about this. There are two ways that the Mufassirun of the Quran, Imam al-Razi explains this, that there are two ways that the Mufassirun of the Quran have interpreted this verse. The first way that many of the scholars of Tafsir interpreted this verse is that there will always be a group of people in the Muslim community that are always making good things happen. It's just always going to exist. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, deliberately or without any deliberation. There's always going to be a group of people that are making good things happen. However, the second way that this verse is interpreted, and this is what I want us to think about, because this is what I incline towards as well as the understanding of this verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is more so saying, it is your job to make sure that there's always at least a group of people within the community that is trying to make good things happen. And what's the only way to make sure that someone is doing what needs to be done? Is to do it yourself. And if and when there is not a group of people, not even a small group of people, that is making good things happen in the community, then that community will start to fall apart. Society will start to erode. It'll basically be the end of civilization as we know it. And so this is not Allah just telling us, by the way, there's always going to be a group of people doing something good. This is Allah saying, there needs to be a group of people that are always making something good happen, because when there's not, then all of society will crumble and fall apart. And so if there's nobody else doing it, then step up to the plate and do it yourself. The second thing I wanted to mention here at the beginning of just the comments, some of the thoughts I wanted to share here today. The Prophet ﷺ, I literally a week ago was in Atlanta. And I was with the ICNA chapter in Atlanta, who mashallah are doing some really remarkable work. They're near the areas of the Florida, the Panhandle, where they just suffered a hurricane, and they're near South Carolina. And mashallah, these folks every single weekend, they get done with work on Friday, they load up trucks, they go to Florida, they go to South Carolina, they feed people, they take care of people, they come back Sunday, and they go back to work on Monday. Amazing work they're doing, mashallah. And I was mentioning this literally a week ago to the ICNA chapter in Atlanta. And I'll share the same comments here, this second point that I wanted to make, because I feel that this really captures the essence of what ICNA is. And from where I'm standing, what I see ICNA representing in the community. The Prophet ﷺ, and this is a very quick synopsis, but I need everyone to pay very close attention. The Prophet ﷺ spent the first 13 years of his message, his mission, preaching and teaching Islam, propagating Islam within Mecca. Those 13 years, he was faced with severe opposition, confrontation, persecution, oppression, violence. It was very difficult. After 13 years of very extreme circumstances, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted them an opportunity. The opportunity that we call Medina. al-Madinah al-Munawwarah. Allah gave them a home. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a home base. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a platform, a place where they could build something, they could do something. This is a very exciting opportunity. Try to remember some of especially the elders of the community. I remember being a child and remembering my parents going through that phase. Try to think back to the moment when you were praying inside of a musalla. And then when you finally, Allah gave you a masjid, you bought some land, you built a masjid. Think back to how excited you were when you walked through the doors of that new masjid. Think back to how excited you were. We have a place of our own. We can build something here. We can do something here. So the Muslims, the Prophet ﷺ, the Muslims came to Medina and they said, yes, Allah has given us a place where we can build something. We can do something. The Prophet ﷺ, on the day that he arrived in Medina, he gathered together all the people of Medina, Muslim, Jewish, Mushrik, he gathered them all together. And he spoke to them. He addressed them. And you know what he said? The Prophet ﷺ said, I would like to share my vision of Medina with you. You know, whenever you start an organization, you have a vision. What is the vision of the work you're doing? He said, here is the vision of Medina. Ya ayyuhan nas, afshu salam. Number one, which means two things. Spread peace. Establish a peaceful, safe community and society where people know that they have safety, they have a safe place where they can turn to. And it also means greet one another, but the broader meaning is establish peace and safety within a society. The second thing, at'imut ta'am, which literally translates to feed food. That doesn't mean just only feed the hungry, that's a part of it, but it also means as a community, break bread together, eat together. Like we were listening, we were watching the potlucks occurring, right? Like share food together. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, it says, "La yakul illa ma'ad-dafaf." The Prophet ﷺ never ever ate alone. He never ate alone. And he taught us that food for two, طعام الاثنين يكفي أربعا. وطعام الأربع يكفي ثمانية. Food for two is enough for four. Food for four is enough for 8. So that's very important to remember. This third thing the Prophet ﷺ said, Silul arham. Better your family, strengthen your family, strengthen your homes, develop better family relationships. Like we saw all the education and the counseling that is going on. وَصَلُّوا بِاللَّيْلِ وَالنَّاسُ نِيَامٍ, and pray at night when people are asleep. This is outside of the 5 times daily prayer, because those are mandatory. But more optional prayer, the Prophet ﷺ said, do it at night while people are asleep. This was the vision of the Medinan community. Establish peace and safety. Feed people, share food together, become closer together as a community. Stabilize society, build community, strengthen the family, and then make sure that you personally are connected to Allah, spirituality. This was the vision of the Medinan community. And I know, and I mean this when I say this, that I feel that, and I've always felt this way, particularly since becoming more aware of all the projects that ICNA works on in the different communities, including my own hometown community of Dallas, that I feel and I see this vision being executed in the work that ICNA does. I see this vision of the Prophet ﷺ being brought to life in the work that they do. And the third and the final comment I want to make might come off to some people as a bit critical. I apologize not for my comments, because I mean them. But I apologize if it offends someone, because that is not my intention. My intention is not to offend anyone. But I can't apologize for my comments. I was born and raised here in this country. I did receive my education overseas, my Islamic education overseas, because it wasn't available at that time. But I still came back to this country, to these communities. I myself started a family. I'm raising my own kids. And these are some very honest sentiments that I have. I look at, aside from even the video, I was sitting and staring at the list of the activities that are being provided at the center. I see youth activities, providing what is called suhbah. The Sahaba they had suhbah. What made the Sahaba who they were? They had companionship, fellowship, suhbah with the Prophet ﷺ. I see the activities of suhbah being provided for young men, young women. The YM activities. Education is being provided. You have counseling services, people that are struggling individually, couples that are struggling through issues, families that are going through very severe, critical issues. Counseling is being provided. Educational activities, recreational activities for our kids, for our youth, taking care of the disenfranchised, those that are incarcerated in many instances unjustly, providing spiritual services to them. People that are sick and ill, feel like everyone's forgotten them, many times including their own families, making sure that their souls are not forgotten and forsaken, and going and looking after them. Along with the relief activities in the community that is being done. Where's the critique in all of this? This is the job that our masajid were supposed to do. This is the job that our multi-million-dollar complexes that we've built across this country were supposed to do. I say we, I was born and raised in a community. We did not donate $8 million to an Islamic center to be a museum. It was supposed to serve our communities. My 11-year-old daughter should not have to go to this small little youth center on the other side of Dallas that is barely operating and barely getting by with a small budget when I live down the street from a multi-million-dollar Islamic center. This is a tragedy. But I commend these brothers and these sisters. They said, that's fine. That might be a tragedy. But they said that we're going to do what we're supposed to do. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. And what tonight is an opportunity for our community to make its voice heard. And to say, we are going to support the initiatives that support us. We're going to look after the people that are looking after our children. That are making sure our families are okay. And we're going to get out of the business of building Muslim country clubs. And we're going to get to the business of supporting our community. I feel very passionately about this, if you can't tell. Because I've suffered through it. I was born and raised in a community. I'm raising my children in a community. And I'm tired of my community not providing for me. Because some people might look at me and see an imam or a shaykh or a scholar, but I'm a husband and a father and a dad and a son and a brother. My family, just like every other family, needs services. And these small, humble places, like the ICNA Center, is providing those services. So when the opportunity is going to come right after me, after I'm done talking, which I promise I am done now, after I'm done talking, you're going to get the opportunity to support. You're going to get the opportunity to financially support. That is not just a formality. Take it very seriously. And think about what I said. Think very seriously about what I said. We constantly sit around and complain. Oh, this organization isn't doing that, and this association isn't doing that, and the Islamic Center is not doing this, and the masjid is not doing that. Make your voice heard. You are the community. The power is in your hands. Support the organizations that support you. Take care of you. That's the only way we can correct the course of our community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah preserve and protect the Ummah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept the work that ICNA does. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless their work, protect their work, grant them sincerity in their work, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them longevity in their work. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for your patience with my comments. And again, I emphasize again, my intention is not to offend anyone. I am sharing my thoughts as a son, as a brother, as a husband, and as a father, as a member of a community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. Jazakumullah khairan.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.